Switch to the bank that loves small business. SMS Nedbank to 40320 to switch.
We're back, and that means it's time to see how Edu-Tain did on the biz wheel. Mike?
Fuller, on marketing, I've scored you an orange. Although in some areas you're very strong in your sectors, in some things like your customer relationship management and your social media, very weak. On the sales side, I've actually scored you a green. I think you're doing incredibly well there. You've got targets, you've got a plan, and you're certainly measuring everything.
From a financial perspective, you've got a spectacular amount of data, information, but you're not listening to the story it's telling you. Clearly, Vula, you need a new business plan. Administration, bright green. You've got written systems in place to manage all your administration. You've even got written supplier agreements. You've got written client agreements. Fantastic to get a green.
Vula, any surprises, or were those the results you expected?
Look, I probably did. Some of those results sound pretty average, yes. However, the marketing is quite hard to define, you know, because we market to so many different groups. So I guess, you know, there is a different strategy in every way, in every place. And then as far as the admin and the financial side, etc., that is quite a big challenge for myself.
Okay, well, let's start with you, Mike. I mean, how do the changing trends affect a business like Vula's?
Well, it's constantly on the go, but we need to step back a little bit. The scary thing is that most small businesses do not have the ability to articulate what they do internally or externally. So I took a stab at it, and let me try this. What your business does primarily is you are buyers and sellers of educational software solutions that are enabled by technology. Now, if you can understand that, you can get your staff to understand it, you can get the public to understand it, that's half the battle won. Another thing I picked up was that you have this very strange sales mix. 65 to 70% of your business comes from a low profit area, and the rest higher profit. So what we want to try and do is you need to try and shift this. Move up, find a strategy, use technology, put your stuff online, enable people to buy from you when you're asleep. You like that? And grow that sector as much as you possibly can. That's what it's all about. Fuller, this is a product matrix. It helps you decide where to concentrate your efforts by asking two simple questions. What's the ability of the product to add value to the company? And through that, I mean through marketing, branding, goodwill. And what's the potential profitability? And Thane will explain profitability.
I like that. The product has to contribute to the bottom line. If it's a loss leader, it needs to establish the brand. And lastly, you've got to identify the cost of getting that to the market, that product to the market.
Excellent. Let's try a couple of your products. Cyberlink.
Okay, let's try Cyberlink.
How profitable is Cyberlink?
I would put it plotted
So we draw
there.
a little line over there. How good's it for your brand?
Well, I would say around about that.
So then, that's where it sits. We need to build loyalty in that product to get the public to use it. What about one of your other ones?
Let's go for Eurotalk. Okay. If I look at the matrix, it will be about
Put
that.
it over there, great. In order to move it over there, you need to think creatively. What's your best product?
Big Boot,
Sitting somewhere up here?
I would think, yes.
Great. So Big Boot sits over there. Excellent. It's a keeper. What you need to look out for are the ones that are sitting down here. Because you have to do what it says. You have to let them go. That's what it's like pruning a tree. Cut off the weak branches, keep the strong ones, watch that tree grow. Okay. And you need to use technology. You're a technology company. By your own admission, you love technology. Put things online, put them on the website, let people test the software, let them try it out. That's the way to move this business.
Vula, I need you to have a look at your expense control. As a family business, it's very difficult to see staff costs, which are normally very high in a business, as an investment. Because you're investing, you need to get a return on that investment. So your return on investment should be at least 3 to 4 times the salary and the other benefits that you're paying your staff members. And you also need to measure the productivity of those staff members. Take the emotion out of it. And the way you measure productivity is to take your sales figure, excluding VAT, of course, because the VAT belongs to the receiver of revenue, and you divide that by your staff costs. And in your case, I've noticed a slight decline in staff productivity. So you need to really motivate the staff to start producing more, and you need to measure this on a more regular basis.
I have seldom seen someone more passionate about their business than you are. But first of all, we have to understand the word passion. It comes from a Greek word passos, which means to suffer for. And boy, do we suffer for our businesses. And one of the ways I see you suffering is you often sit there with that feeling that the staff are not on the same page as you. The real problem is they're not even reading the same book as you because they're not sure what book you're reading. You need to instill this in them, this essence of the business, that you're an educational software solution reseller. You need to get this across to them.
So Vula wants to make money in her sleep. There's obvious things she has to do for herself to make that happen, right, Thane?
Good news and bad news about time management. The bad news is time flies. The good news is, Vula, you're the pilot. So why don't you take one or two of these items into account and see maybe they can help you. Number one, check your emails at specific times. I know we tend to check them all the time, but maybe at 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock, and 3 o'clock. If you need a bit of me time, tell the staff, listen, for the next hour and a half, hold my calls, close the door, and go into your office. Don't be disturbed. Also, I like to bundle similar tasks together because the more you do of the similar tasks, the faster you do that. But the big problem we have is delegating. Now, here's a little exercise that I'd like you to do when you get back to the office. Write down all your tasks that you do every day. Then draw a line through those that you can't delegate to anybody else. The remaining tasks divide into two. One that you can delegate immediately. Delegate those tasks immediately. The second set of tasks will need a bit of training. Train those staff members to do those delegated tasks. But overridingly important is that there's continual feedback between you and the staff member that you're delegating to, and the task that you're delegating must be well defined and well set out so that everybody knows what's expected of them.
So, Vula, what do you make of this advice?
Yeah, look, it's all good, you know, from an aerial view. However, I don't have a problem with the family thing creeping in, the passion thing creeping in. The only thing I actually experience would be there's no time. Mentoring everybody and delegating tasks is really up to me. But you also have the part where you need the interaction backward, you know, the delegation coming backward. And this is where I lose it because we don't actually have enough time.
My answer to that is you cannot allow someone else to manage your time. So the solution lies with you. You have to do what you have to do to manage your time.
Vula, I've always said, if it wasn't for the customers, the suppliers and the staff, it would be a great job.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And if it was easy, everyone would be doing it.
Well, that's the thing. I suppose the buck does stop with you, though, Vula. And I suppose it comes back to something Thane's talked about, productivity and holding your staff members to account. Well, a discussion that can certainly carry on offline. Thane, here's a cry for help. Arndt Herman from Johannesburg says, I've got the business, the product, the clients. I need to grow, and I know I can, but I can't handle more work. Help!
If you are not employing enough staff, remember the lowly tortoise. He only moves forward when he sticks his neck out. Employ more staff, sir.
Fantastic. In a moment, we'll meet a visionary trend analyst whose unique perspectives and insights are sought by leading businesses across South Africa.
Switch to the bank that loves small business. SMS Nedbank to 40320 to switch.